except the word gentleness was swapped out with all these words. Let your consideration of others be known to all men. That you're considerate. You think about other people. Be reasonable. Be modest, gracious, humble, forbearing, and fair. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 2. With all lowliness and gentleness. And once again, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Gentleness. Be gentle, again in the book of Ephesians, Colossians, Philippians, 1 Peter. It's in the Gospels. Matthew chapter 11, verse 29, Jesus talks about Matthew 11:29. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle. Jesus says, I am gentle and I am lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. One of the reasons we don't have rest is because we are not gentle. And we don't, the first commandments that we read earlier in this teaching tonight was what? Don't argue with people. Don't do it. I don't care if you're smarter. I don't care if you're right. Oh, unless you want to lose all your peace, then go ahead and by all means destroy yourself. It's totally your business. You can pick up on that tongue-in-cheek, couldn't you? You got that? Okay, good. Take my yoke upon you, learn from me, for I am gentle. I'm gentle. Isaiah 40, verse 11, and we'll close with this verse tonight. Isaiah 40 and verse 11. He will feed his flock like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs with his arm, carry them in his bosom, and he will what? Gently lead. He will gently lead those who are with young. He doesn't drive them. He doesn't force them. He's patient, kind, and he's gentle. And he's gentle. He gently leads those that are with young. Can't be said enough. Most effective way to raise children is with gentleness. Most effective way to be an employer is to lead with gentleness. The most effective way to deal with your mate is with gentleness. Because harsh words stir up strife. Did I not read that tonight? Did I forget to put that in my message? I did. I missed the whole section here. Look at this. Well, let's go back for a minute. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 12. I did. I missed a few verses. And we labor, working with our own hands. Being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we endure. And then I think it's the next verse. Being defamed. I must have wrote it down wrong because Paul said this. I did write it down wrong. He said, shall I come to you with a rod or with love and the spirit of gentleness? And I wrote down here in my notes, how would you like to be approached? Well, I prefer gentleness. I don't like being dealt with harshly. So then the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The Apostle Paul says, shall I come to you with a rod or with love in the spirit of gentleness? Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, in the NIV, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. You ever meet angry people? They probably were raised very harshly. And they've never let that go. So whenever you talk to them with harshness, here's what happens. All of the anger from all of their past comes up against you. And you're dealing with a very angry person that may be angry for 100 events over here that had nothing to do with you, but you stirred it up with harshness. The New Living Translation says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 4 says, "For gentleness can even put to rest an offense." Now, don't tell me that that's not powerful. That's powerful. That is super powerful. Proverbs 15, verse 4, "A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it crushes the spirit." Harshness in it crushes the spirit. But a gentle tongue is a tree of life. A gentle tongue is a tree of life. 2 Corinthians 10, verse 1, the Apostle Paul said this, "By the humility and gentleness of Christ, I appeal to you." Wow. I'm going to appeal to you. How am I going to do it? Through humility and gentleness. There's tons of verses. Amazing. That will affect all of our relationships. Lateral relationships, bosses, people that we're boss over. You've got to do it with gentleness. It's a fruit of the Spirit. It's effective. It brings healing. It is a reflection of the wisdom of God. Gentleness brings healing. Quarreling brings strife. Gentleness. Very, very effective.